Hi, I'm Planted in PR, and today I'm going to turn this plant into these plants. So this plant here is a Culantro plant, better known as cacao. I purchased this plant from Home Depot for $1.18 plus the 11.5% sales tax. I was walking through the garden section of Home Depot, and right away I noticed that this particular plant had many plants that started here. So there's a bunch of cacao plants here. So I snatched it up and I brought it back home so I could reproduce a bunch of them. The price of cacao here has gone up, so I'm just going to grow a bunch of them. So here I'm filling up a spinach container with water. I'm going to use this water so I could loosen up the roots. So the first thing I did was loosen up the root ball. So basically I slowly massage as much soil as I can get off of it without damaging the roots. I took my time with it because I didn't want to mess anything up. There's 6 times speed here. So I pulled off as much dirt as I could from the roots, and I take it and I dip it into the water. So once I have the soil clean from the roots, or as much as I could take off of it, I start slowly pulling the entire mass apart without forcing it, slowly untangling the roots. If you take your time with this, if you do this, it's much better. You don't want to rip any roots, because anytime you rip the roots, the plants get damaged and then they get stunted and they don't grow back right, or they don't take off the way they're supposed to. It's really important not to rip the roots. I just take them and dump them in the water. They're fine.
Okay.
So over here I'm pulling out the cacao plants from the water. I have a total of 16 in the end. Gathered some paper pots. Started mixing some soil. I left the soil open so it was dried out. So what I had to do was like crunch it up really well. It's very important that you have good aerated soil. Soil with like very loose, no big clumps or no big chunks. Just as granulated as I could get it is what I'm looking for. And I throw water in there because I want the mix nice and wet before it goes in the paper pot, because after all the paper pots don't really handle saturation very well unless they have something under it like a saucer or something. So yeah, I take my time and I make sure that the soil is very soft, very broken up, very well broken up. It's better for the plant. Recovers faster. You don't want to have big chunks in there because then you have air pockets in there, and if the roots have to like fight to reach nutrition, then they're not really gonna take off that quickly. A few things I want to mention about cacao. I've been trying to grow cacao repeatedly, and I've been successful at growing it, but I had a little bit of trouble at first. The seeds are really small, and then they take like 3 weeks or so to start germinating. And when you're trying to grow them in a little pot, if you lose the moisture on the pot, the cacao seeds die. And on top of that, ants like to eat the cacao seeds. So I managed to grow cacao, but I did it in certain conditions. And with this opportunity where I saw a whole bunch of different cacao plants inside one pot, I just grabbed it up because it's so cheap and so easy to do. And because I don't want to babysit a little pot to see if it comes out, because once it gets moldy and stuff like that, then it's no good also. But I also wanted to mention that if someone purchased this pot and left it like it is with all those cacao plants, they wouldn't quite grow properly. Like, they would be all over each other, because really one cacao plant is enough to turn itself into like one full plant with a whole bunch of leaves in different directions. When you have that many cacao plants planted in one pot, they step over each other and the leaves get messed up and they don't grow to their full potential. So even if we would have left the pot alone, it wouldn't have been that good. The way I'm doing it here, each plant gets to grow its full size. So here I'm using little paper pots. The reasoning behind it is that the plants that are remaining are the smallest ones because I transplanted the biggest ones first. I put the biggest ones in the bigger paper pots because the roots are bigger and I want the roots to be spread out inside the pot. Now obviously these little roots aren't that big, so I'm able to squeeze them into a little pot, and the little tiny pot should be good enough, and I'll be able to put them in the soil. They should be fine. Okay, this here, I usually don't do this. I don't usually put 3 cacao plants so close together, but this is going to be a porch plant. So basically they'll be able to trim it as it goes so they wouldn't step on itself or grow all over itself, so it's fine. In fact, I already gave it away. So that's the conclusion of my video, and thanks for watching, and have a happy holidays all of you out there in YouTube land. God bless.